Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania does not end the way we think it did. And spoilers before we continue, after rewatching this film, it's ending with Scott reflecting on his supposed victory over Kang, his momentary paranoia followed by his switch back into bliss. I discovered some new details that I think we all missed before that totally prove that the final minutes of this film are all part of a simulation, a warped timeline, or some kind of saccharine nightmare scripted by the Kang Dynasty. And please subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, in which I will have a deeper investigation of Quantumania this Friday, February 24th, and you can support our growing network by getting something over at nerdriot.shop like this Quantumania-inspired Quantum Thief shirt, or something from the Deep Dive collection. Okay, Quantumania ends with Scott and Hope escaping the quantum realm just a bit too easily. Cassie using her quantum communication device to locate their spot and reopen a portal? I mean, that was conveniently fast and conveniently impossible, almost like someone let them get away. But then Scott loops back into the routine he started this movie in, with the same Welcome Back Kotter theme song, as if literally nothing has changed in his life. And like that opening montage, we hear Scott's voiceover narration. He says, "My life doesn't make sense. I used to ask myself a lot of questions about that. Scott, you just saved the quantum realm with your family and drank a guy without holes. Why does this kind of stuff keep happening to you? That doesn't make any sense." But you know what? Who said life has to make sense? Now, the weird thing about this is that in the opening sequence, Scott's voiceover was revealed to be him reading his memoir, Look Out for the Little Guy, in a bookstore. Who is he talking to now? It doesn't look like he's added an addendum to his book or anything. He's just talking to himself, or to us. Or someone has scripted all of this as his inner monologue, and he's trying to figure out what the hell he's saying. And there are some unusual ways Scott's world has inexplicably changed. The cafe owner, Ruben, now knows who he is, a bug man who can grow big and shrink small, and he charges $12 for coffee, which really throws off Scott, though you shouldn't if you live in San Francisco. You're gonna overpay for coffee everywhere. At Baskin-Robbins, Scott's former boss, Dale, says he came out of cake retirement for him, making a green cake with an ant decoration, Happy Birthday, Cassie. Now, I get why Dale is kissing up to Scott. He began this movie awarding him the Employee of the Century, but from a public standpoint, what changed in Scott's life for Ruben to know who he is suddenly? Would the public know what happened in the quantum realm? What happens in the quantum realm stays in the quantum realm. Krylar can tell you that. Now, sure, maybe Ruben suddenly remembered organically that Scott is Ant-Man, not Spider-Man, but even Scott senses something is off in the sequence. He goes on saying, "It's been a pretty wild ride. One day you're fired from Baskin-Robbins, the next you're beating a time-traveling space king. We did beat him, right?" And then the Welcome Back Kotter music fades. Scott says, "I mean, that's what happened. He was gonna get out, and he didn't get out, I think. He also said something bad was coming, and that everyone would die if he didn't get out. Wait, so did I just kill everyone? Is everyone gonna die because of me? What did I do? You know what? It's probably fine. Like I said, life doesn't make any sense. Maybe stop asking so many questions, Scott. Stop overthinking it." And then we move on to Cassie's birthday dinner, where Scott's inner monologue continues to the end, worrying, "This is good. We're all together. You're fine. Everything's probably fine. Kang's gone. You did it. Never have to worry about that guy anymore." And then he takes a bite of the cake and yuck. But some visual details we should talk about. In other videos, I already pointed out the new graffiti of Ant-Man in a heart on the wall. But when was that drawn? And why was it suddenly drawn when it wasn't there before? A jogger runs past Scott, recognizing him. Scott points back and smiles, and behind Scott, if you continue to watch that guy, he does a double take, looking back and forth from Scott to the graffiti. This is the kind of graffiti that everywhere in the MCU following Endgame, you typically only see to honor Avengers who died or disappeared. Tony Stark in Far From Home, Captain America's Shield in No Way Home, memorials to Vision and others at Avengers Con and Ms. Marvel. But it's almost like this runner is shocked to see Scott alive. But all of these pedestrians are acting really, really weird. I am always on the go, and I'm always listening to music and podcasts, so I've always got to have a pair of Raycon everyday earbuds in. Ooh, and a boot. So Raycon earbuds have quality stereo sound enhancement with passive noise isolation. It's just you and your music. I can block out background noise like no other, so I can be out in the world but still in my own private audio cocoon. The touch controls make it easy to switch tracks, take a call, or turn up the volume. Tap, and the music automatically pauses when you remove your everyday earbuds, and then resumes with a tap when you just place them back in your ears. Whether you're looking for a pair of everyday earbuds, low latency gaming headphones, or a speaker with a battery that will last all night at your next party, Raycon has got you covered. Raycon is premium audio at the perfect price point, so you can build great habits without breaking the bank. No wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 50,000 5-star reviews. If you're ready to buy something small with a big impact, click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/newrockstars to get 15% off your Raycon purchase. Like I also talked about the vibrant colors you see in this final scene, Scott focusing on a few people who wear a specific shade of vibrant purple. These colors leap off the screen and contrast all the green hedges in the frame. And then during the birthday dinner, we see purple balloons and a bright green cake. Purple, green, the colors worn by Kang the Conqueror. Scott is seeing Kang everywhere. But really, I think the colors are meant to distract us from the background extras who again are really weird. All of them are smiling, waving at Scott like the extras in the Truman Show, as if all of them are playing a part. Like when Scott gets closer to that bright purple vest woman with the dog in the carriage, it feels like a horror show at the end of this movie. But one undeniable glitch in this matrix occurs right when Scott begins to disassociate. What triggers that moment? Well, notice he looks in the direction of this woman with the purple plaid top, but it's not her that freaks him out. It's the couple behind her. Why? Because this same couple just passed Scott a second earlier. They were just behind him on the sidewalk, and now when he looks ahead of them, he sees doppelgangers of them approaching him. He is caught in a loop. It's like the simulation scene in The Matrix when everyone Neo passes on the sidewalk are twins. And remember, this is a Scott who had just been stuck in a probability storm where all he saw were variant possibilities of himself. Now, yes, this is a somewhat common gap in films and TV shows where they have the same dozen or so extras passing the actors on a sidewalk again and again, and those extras will sometimes jump around in frame as different takes are cut together. This actually happened in Multiverse of Madness, when the same extra ran past Doctor Strange on the street as Strange was fighting Gargantos. But I think the reason it's weird here and worth talking about is that this scene deliberately calls attention to the extras. It dresses them all in bright colors, it has them all smile and wave at Scott, interact with him. The way the scene is shot and edited wants us to look at these people. We're seeing this all from Scott's point of view. Anybody editing this scene would know if background extras were jumping around. And so I believe Scott's fear has come true in this moment. I believe he has returned not to the same timeline he left, but a new timeline that has been warped and controlled by the Kang Dynasty, a dynasty that has been unleashed and militarized as a result of the exile being killed in this movie and the Avengers getting that much closer to multiversal incursions. The dynasty has now set Scott's timeline in which everything seems to be going Scott's way, but has actually trapped him in a narrative loop like Truman on a Burbank lot, like the hosts of Westworld, or like the citizens of Westview being controlled by Wanda. Scott is in a simulation, so that when his lingering paranoia begins to creep in, he just says, "No, everything seems to be fine. Maybe don't overthink it." Because Scott Lang, God bless him, is one of the most trusting and naive Marvel heroes we know. And in this reality, we are about to learn how people who look like Jonathan Majors turned up throughout history. Mayor of Timely, Wisconsin, Victor Timely, inspiration to Howard Stark and the Stark family. The CEO of Kang Enterprises, Mr. Gryphon, who now occupies Avengers Tower in Manhattan. Every glitch, every plot hole in the MCU, all possible evidence of the Kang Dynasty's manipulation of the timeline now that they are trying to keep the Avengers from causing any further multiversal incursions. But you know what, folks? Kangs always leave traces, footprints, their vanity reflected in the colors of the world around us. The streets populated with NPCs prone to glitching who just smile a bit too wide. Inner monologues playing in our heads with no practical audience that contradict what we actually feel. Hey, another reminder to subscribe to The Deep Dive and watch one of the great videos now live on the channel. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for breakdowns of everything you love. Thanks for watching, bye.